there. I think I may have shared this with you before. If I didn't, I was once in a business meeting with some salespeople who sold into a large one of the large oil companies, and they used to laugh about the fact that, you know, when someone comes along with a car that will run on water, or you know, any of these types of interesting things that you'll see, they will just buy up the, you know, pay them $1 million to go away, and they stick it in the vault for someday. You know, so these things exist. These things are real. These better ways of doing things are there.
Yes.
And again, it comes down to money. You know, there's a lot of money behind the nuclear industry and supporting that. And we're constantly told that, you know, wind and so all these alternative energies that are cleaner, better, more efficient, they're just not cost effective. You know,
we sell our wind energy to Canada. The wind fields in Ohio, they sell our wind energy to Canada.
It's true. We do. We're also selling our water from the Great Lakes to China.
Yes.
Because they have a shortage of fresh water, so we're commoditizing that. And I, you know, we've been talking about a lot of stuff tonight in kind of a roundabout way. And what it really all comes down to is that we have put a price on everything, and everything is about profit. It's about making money. You know, we have a prison system, right? That is all about, it's a profit-centered, prison system. We have a war system that's profit-based. We have a healthcare system that's profit-based. We have an education system, and the average university now is a major corporation. That's really what they are, and they have marketing teams and sales teams that sell people to come to that university. And I'm not anti-capitalist. I'm not against the capitalist system and profit, but it's a crony capitalism in a way, because it muscles the small person out to keep the people who are on top, and it also puts this profit motive in things that we ought to be doing what is the right thing for people. You know, we need to bring people back into focus as the center, the focus of what we're trying to accomplish, and not always the profit. And I think that's the challenge that we face. A lot of this kind of revolves around the money aspect of this, but there's a profit motive. There was an interesting article, and Dennis covered this on the Secret podcast this week. I'd fed him a video about this, and he went out and found the article. There was an investment analyst, I guess, who was talking about the pharma industry, and he wrote an article talking about the fact that curing people is a bad business model. A better business model is to treat people and find ways to keep an ongoing revenue stream. But if you start curing people of things, then pretty soon your patients and people who can infect other people start to go away, and your business model goes away.
Yes.
And I was thinking, wow, that I mean, okay, you could look at that and say, okay, well, that's just business talk, right? Because they're in business to make money. But it's like, isn't the main reason that you're in business to cure people and help people? And
absolutely,
we just have lost that focus.
In fact, Brenda in chat had posted that earlier when she said that there's no money in curing cancer.
No, there's not.
So you just develop more treatments. And it's really funny that back in the 1980s, when I worked for the American Cancer Society, a lot of the things that were coming out of Mexico and other places were just considered completely bogus. They actually had a name for it, which escapes me now, but just to mock it. And now the majority of the treatments that are working are the same things that they had tagged as just being nonsensical.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just frustrating.
We live in a bubble. We live in a bubble in this country when it comes to healthcare and a lot of other issues. You know, I mean, we've seen, we saw our politics probably 6-7 years ago now, where you had these companies in Canada that were going to start selling drugs into the United States because they could sell it cheaper. And our politicians said, no way, no how, not happening. And our politicians stood in the way of the American people getting cheaper prescription drugs in a free market way even, right? I mean, there's businesses setting up saying, hey, I can do this at a better price than you're getting it where you are. that was stopped. We see cures in other countries for things all the time that are not allowed in this country. And it's really interesting that if you think about this, really think about this. When was the last time we cured anything? These diseases all have huge industries behind them, researching them. People go out and do runs for them, all this. But when was the last time we actually cured something? And do you really think we haven't come up with any cures for any disease? We just find these treatments that have 85 disclaimers on their commercials for them.
Yes.
I don't believe that,
Well, it's like, polio. We're constantly being told that the reason that you have to do vaccinations is because we cured polio in this country. We cured measles. We cured smallpox. Well, we didn't cure them. We prevented them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference. So,
but all those
even
were in
those
the
weren't
first half
a
of the
cure.
20th century, right?
Yes.
When in the last 50, 60 years have we seen that?
Completely not.
You can't. And so that article, while it's abhorrent, is kind of like a window into what's going on in a way, right? Even though it's an abhorrent article, it's really a window into what the thinking is.
Yes. Well, look who you would put out of work, though. Not just the pharmaceutical companies, but you've got the research facilities. You've got all of the, how many hundreds of billions of dollars have been spent in the different research facilities? Not counting CDC, which is government funded as well. But I'm talking about the different. At one point, we had 5 comprehensive cancer centers in this country. It was a big deal to have one. And now they're everywhere. And only 2 companies that I'm aware of are actively trying to cure their patients.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're using dietary methods. And they're approaching it holistically. I find that fascinating, that only 2 companies out of all these facilities are trying these methods. And the only reason that they're trying these methods are because the people that come to them have lost out on everywhere else. They are hopeless. And I have a friend whose child wound up going out to Texas to one, and it was too late. It's just really, really awful. And the medications that they're giving you to treat you are toxic.
And, it doesn't make all the people that are working in these industries evil. They're just people doing a job.
No, they're doing their job.
But the mindset of our civilization is that we turn everything into a profit. Education is a profit center.
Yes,
Healthcare is a profit center. War is a profit center. And these things are not profit centers. Less war is a good thing. More education is a good thing. Better healthcare is a good thing. But we commoditize them and make them profit centers so that we get more war, less healthcare, less education. It's nonsensical.
Yes.
It's nonsensical if you're looking at it from a human-centered perspective on doing what's good for people. So, we talked earlier about us, thinking about who do we want to be. But collectively, we need to think about who we want to be as a country. Is that who we want to be? Is that we want to encourage more war because that drives profits? We want to encourage it to be harder to get health care because that drives more profits. We want to encourage education to be a huge economic barrier to educating our people because that drives more profits? Or do we want to do what's best for people and adjust those things in a way that makes sense to get the best result for people? And I think that's what we're not doing as a country right now. And I don't see either political party in line with that. I don't see our media in line with that because they are all riding the money train that we're talking about here. All those profit centers are all influenced. They buy ads on the media. They fund the campaigns for the politicians. And we need to make we the people the number one constituent again.
Yes.
That's what really needs to happen, and that's not happening right now. So that's why we're getting almost like reverse polarity, right? We're almost getting the exact opposite of what's good for us in almost every instance on these things.
I would agree. And, I think, in honor of today being the start of the NASCAR season, that they should all wear sponsorship suits, right? Put those patches on your outfit. Let's see that on that skirt. Let me see what you got on your butt. Is that an STP sticker? I mean, seriously, I think that there should be public disclosure of these things. Legally, they have to report it, but it never gets out. I never have seen a report that said, well, this person got this much in funding from X, Y, or Z company, but it is part of the requirements for their political contributions during their election campaigns. They have to report where the money comes from, but it's never shared publicly.
But you can see it in their votes, and really you can see it in the net effect of the culture we have, right? Because the persistent, ongoing impact of this is the world we see around us. So you don't even have to really know who they're getting the money from. You can kind of tell by what is being encouraged and helped, and what is being hindered.
Or perhaps when Monsanto was guaranteed protection from lawsuits by Congress.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
What other corporation has been protected in that manner? Right?
None that I can think of.
None that I can think of. And, it's just so frightening. That's a company that is also engaged in practices that could be, even more dangerous than the chemicals, is that we'll lose our oxygen. Their chemicals are so toxic that they're killing insects that are going to perpetrate our living down the road. And yet they got federal protection. And I know we're almost to our last break, but it's just frustrating as a citizen and I'm a light worker. I'm not supposed to get this riled up about things, right? I try to flow and glow, and it's really a very difficult thing to stay, we need that positivity to fix it. And
we've gotten down the negative road here a little bit, and people are going,
a little bit, we have. But we've only got 10 seconds until our break, so we're going to have to get back on the right path when we come back.
Okay.
So, everyone, this is going to be our final break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Thank you for being here.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcast.